Hi, my name is Twyla Meyer, and I'm from Hamtramck, Michigan, in the United States. I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida in 1946. At the time I was born, the Second World War had just ended, and my father came back. He was in the Navy during the war, and he had broke his back in the war. We moved down. My mother moved down to Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, and that's where I was born. I had an older brother at that time named Gary. The community I ended up in was in Bay City, Michigan, which was originally where my father was from, nearby Munger, Michigan, which was potato farmers. And the community I lived in was all white people, except for the south end of Bay City, where the black people stayed, and we hardly ever saw them except occasionally in school. In my original home, well, by the time my original home, we moved many, many places. We always lived in the Bay City, Essexville, Michigan area, and I would go from there to other states in the United States. I lived in Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Florida, California, and several other states, which I can't even remember right now. We moved so often, but between moves, because my father would get transferred, we would come back to Bay City, Michigan, and often he would leave Essexville actually. He would leave and go for months and months, sometimes 6 months at a time, and leave my mother and the kids all together. And so my mother had to take care of us. And then we were Baptist by religion, or Methodist, well, Christian, I would say, and attended a lot of, the church and school was pretty much the focus of our life. And my friends were all just regular people. Nobody was, we were, at that time I would say lower middle class. Eventually my family got to be more or less middle class. Okay, I left the Bay City area to move to Detroit with my friend Jeannie Donnelly. We were young and wanted adventure, and besides that I had met a young man who was a really good friend, and so it just seemed like the thing to do is to leave the city of Bay City and move to Detroit. Moved to Detroit area at the Wayne State campus, and lived with a friend named Jeannie Donnelly in an apartment, and I moved a few times in that general area and over to the east side once with somebody. When Jeannie Donnelly is the person I left Bay City with to move to Detroit, and she and I lived in an apartment by Wayne State University for quite a bit of time. The idea of not staying in Bay City was always on my mind. I always thought that I would, graduate from high school and find something exciting to do in life. And, not having a lot of resources, but having friends in the Detroit area, I made the decision to move to the Detroit area. Got a job right away at the, what was the name of that place? The warehouse. Can't remember the name of the place. Did accounting, and eventually within the first year after I moved here, got married to Bill Meyer, who I pretty much moved here for in the first place. Did anyone help me leave? No, not really. I took a Greyhound bus. I packed up all my belongings, mostly in laundry baskets and cardboard boxes, and anything that clothes or household items that I had, I packed up and put under the bus and came by bus. My mom and dad really didn't want me to move from that area. I had 4 brothers, and but once I made the decision, they were supportive of that. I didn't really feel like I left anyone behind. We weren't that far away, but I knew I was going off into my own life and leaving behind the life of religious repression and family obligation that would not let me be anything but a housewife and mother, which is what I became anyway. So, by my own choice. And I felt good about leaving home. It was a good decision, and I've never regretted it, really.